I'm home for the holidays, which means that I finally have access to my Childhood Wii Collection, and there's a ton of games here that I haven't seen in years. So I just want to go through this whole thing on a little nostalgia trip with you guys. But before I get started, let me know what your favorite Wii game is down in the comments below, and let's get into the video. Number 1 is Nerf and Strike. Now, this is kind of a weird one because they actually sold like a Nerf gun with it, but you just put the Wii controller in it, and I thought it was kind of fun. I don't super remember this game, but from what I remember, it was just a bunch of like mini games and you shoot a bunch of stuff. Very nerfy. Tony Hawk Ride is actually one of the coolest games I think we have on the Nintendo Wii. The motion controlled like board is awesome, and I think it is so much fun. It really lends itself well to a Wii game on top of which. Poke Park 2 is just a joy from start to finish, in my opinion. I absolutely love these games, and I know it's just my nostalgia talking, but playing as a Pokemon after years of wanting to play, that game as a Pokemon, be the Pikachu electrocuting the other Pokemon, it was pretty fun that you finally got to take control of one of those and wander around a world completely designed for Pokemon. Speak of the devil, we have the very first one, and this is actually one of the first games I ever beat, so this and Poke Park 2 were like games I beat when I was first starting my gaming journey. So in a lot of ways, they have shaped my likes for video games, and like I said, I know they're not great games, but they're games that I really hold close to my heart because I played them when I was such a young kid, and I really, really enjoyed them. Game I did enjoy so much is actually Mario Party 8. Now, this game is alright, but I don't know what it is, because they hadn't implemented the cart yet, which is fantastic because the cart mechanic sucks, but it still just wasn't very fun for me, and that's like with nostalgia coming into play because I played this as a kid quite a bit, but even as a kid, it wasn't my favorite thing ever, and going back and playing games like the original Mario Party on the N64, it has just shown me that this is far inferior to those because even without nostalgia, those games are actually pretty fun. Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars is a game that I really do enjoy as well. I think the Star Wars games, or the Lego games in general, just on the Wii were really fun back in the day, and I played a ton of them just because, like, once you play one Lego game, you kind of understand how to play the other ones, so you like it because you're not constantly confused and you're a kid, so you're not very smart at that time, so it was nice to have some familiarity, I guess, in that way, and I just really enjoyed them, and, like, the fact that so many of my favorite IPs, like Star Wars and you'll see a couple later, were represented through these Lego games. It was just a fun time for me. This is actually one of my favorite games on Wii, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. This one is flipping fantastic. So, Guitar Hero, I know you know what Guitar Hero is. They put it in Fortnite recently, and it does not have the magic because there was something so amazing about sticking the Wii remote into that guitar thing and then playing it like an absolute beast and just like having such a fun time with these songs and the game as a whole. This is one of my favorite games on the Wii, and I really hope that Guitar Hero can sort of make a comeback. I think they sort of ended up taking this weird approach where Guitar Hero sort of ended up being more of like a learn to play guitar, and that's not what people want from Guitar Hero. You just want to press these random buttons and have a good time with it. You don't want to learn how to play guitar. That's not what it is at all. It's just a fun rhythm game, and you want it to keep being that way. And I think, you know what Fortnite should do? They should like sell a Guitar Hero accessory. I would buy it. Charge me $100. I will get it. Cars 2, I don't really know why we have that. I was a kid, I think I liked the Cars movies, and my parents saw this on a shelf one day and were like, hey, that's not a bad idea. It's basically like a racing game. They actually have it on the Nintendo Switch. Check it out, if you want. Lego Batman, the video game. This is a pretty solid Lego game, in my opinion. I really remember loving this game. I think this one me and my brother played together a lot because the Lego games always have really fun co-op, plus the cutscenes in it are pretty cute, so I think I just had a good time with it overall. Little League World Series Baseball. I don't super remember this game. My family was big into baseball, so I'm assuming that's why we have this. It seems alright. Don't super remember it though, so I can't assume we played it very much. NBA Live 09. This is weird because we loved these, like, NBA 2K, all those types of games, because we played them a lot on the PlayStation 3, and this is the one and only I think we have for the Wii, and I just remember it was not as good as we had hoped. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, this is a really awesome game, of course. I actually never played this one on the Wii. My brother and my dad played it a lot, but I remember watching it a lot. It's a pretty entertaining game to watch. I tried to play it a little bit, like, on the GameCube, and I've obviously played Twilight Princess, not to its completion, so maybe I check it out on the Wii, though. The Legend of Spyro the Eternal Night. I didn't even know we had a Spyro game, so didn't play this one or don't remember it at all. Seems whatever. You guys gotta remember when the Wii came out, I was also like, we're talking the age ranges of like 3 to like maybe 9 at the most, so it's not like the most memorable years of your childhood, if you know what I'm saying. Sonic Unleashed. This was a memorable game, though. You play as Werewolf Sonic, and it's memorable for me because my brother really liked it, but I really didn't like it because I just don't think I like Sonic. I just don't think it's for me. Just Dance 4. You know, if you have a Wii, I'm sure you had Just Dance at some point. It was fun back in the day, especially as a kid. I did enjoy these games. I had a good time. My friends would come over. It's very intuitive, easy to understand what you're supposed to do in Just Dance, but at the same time, where they're moving now, I don't super love it. It's like live servicey, and that's super weird, so if we could go back to the tried and true Just Dance, I'd appreciate it a little bit, but do whatever you gotta do, I guess, Ubisoft. Here's another Sonic game, Sonic the Black Knight. This is kind of cool because you're like in King Arthur's world, right? So I don't hate it because of that, and this is like probably the Sonic game on the Wii that I preferred. That's not saying a lot though because I don't really like it still. Just not a Sonic person. Haven't been one since I was a kid. Batman 2, this is the second one. You can't really see because of the flippin' sticker, but I did really like the first Batman, obviously, and I beat that. And the Lego games for me, at least on the Wii, were really fun for me because they were like some of the games that I knew I could beat because I understood how they worked. And so like, I think it was just a safe bet for my parents to get me more and more of these Lego games, plus my brother liked them, so we'd play them together. This is a weird one, but it's Playgrounds. This was actually kind of awesome. You play as this little kid, and you like run around, and you play all these different mini games. It's a weird one, I guess, but there was like dodgeball and like ball, I remember, was actually my favorite. It's a bizarre game, but I actually have very fond memories of it. Oh, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. This was actually probably the only Sonic game I liked. Sorry about the GameStop case, you know how they are. But this one was like sort of okay, and we didn't have Mario Kart, so this is what I played, and I didn't mind it. And out of all the other Sonic games we had, I preferred it. But my cousin had Mario Kart, so I much preferred to play Mario Kart after I had the taste of what it was. We're like about halfway through. We got Skylanders Imagine. This is the first Skylanders. I absolutely really loved these games, and you know, it was targeting my exact demographic. I was the perfect demographic, me and my brother, so we used to get, you know, all the Skylanders toys. We had a good time with it because we'd play with the toys outside of it, and then obviously we'd play with them in the game and stuff, and it was pretty fun. Then we got Smash Bros. Brawl. I really loved this as a kid, and actually 2 days ago I went back and played Smash Bros. Brawl, and I did not like it as much as I remember. I think it's just really hard to adjust to the Wiimote, like playing that game with a Wiimote. It was just absolutely horrendous, especially after playing with a Pro Controller on the Nintendo Switch. So I guess my advice is if you go back to Smash Bros. Brawl, play with a GameCube controller or something, or like the classic controller. Don't play with the Wiimote, it sucks. We got Sing It. This was because we had the Wii, like, microphone, and my parents were finding stuff to do with that, and this was actually, like, pretty fun. I was a big Disney kid, so I did like that. You know, I can't sing for shit, so I'm not going to play it now, obviously, but back in the day it was fun. This is one of my favorite games on the Wii, Donkey Kong Country Returns. This is a really amazing game. I remember I got this with my dad, and he was excited because he had played the original SNES ones. And so, like, we played this a little bit together. The co-op here was really fun. This was one of the, also one of the first games I ever beat, so it holds a special place in my heart. Really love that game as well. Oh, this is the other Donkey Kong game we have, and I love this one too. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. This is a port from the GameCube under the, like, new play control thing, and it was super cool. You just like shake the Wiimotes to do the bongos essentially, and I loved like the different style Donkey Kong game that it was. I had a good time with it. I don't know if it's like a game that people really like, but I have very fond memories. I've gone back and played this game quite a few times, and I think it still holds up pretty well. It's a fun time. It's not traditional Donkey Kong. Probably wouldn't pick it over any of the country games, but if I ever get bored of them or ever just want more Donkey Kong, this is a pretty fun game to check out. MLB Power Pros. Now this one's a kind of a funny game because actually my family like loved these games, and we used to always play MLB Power Pros. Out of all the sports games, it was this and Wii Sports, and I think it's actually a very fun game. Like the characters are so goofy, it keeps you pretty engrossed in baseball. Baseball itself is sort of boring, but like with these characters, with the gamification that Konami did here, it's pretty fun. Actually, MLB Power Pros is still being made, but they're not really bringing it to the, or they did put it on the eShop, right? Yeah, I bought it. I bought it for like $2 on the eShop. So if you can find it on the Nintendo Switch eShop, I kind of recommend it. It's kind of a fun little excursion. Now we're getting into some of the weirdo games we got here. We have Super Swing Golf Season 2. I don't think I ever played this game. I don't even know what this is. Oh gosh. Remington's Super Slam Hunting Alaska. We had the Wii Zapper, so I think we were just looking for games to play on it. That was one of the ones we decided to get. My brother liked those games. I didn't really, so I think he mostly played them. But this is a game I actually really loved. It's Indiana Jones, the Lego game. Like I said, I really do like the Lego games. Plus, you got the co-op, which is pretty good in Lego games. For the longest time, this was my only exposure to Indiana Jones until like a couple of years ago when I finally watched the movies. So all of my Indiana Jones knowledge was from these games. I felt like it was pretty accurate though. Like it really tells the first movie really well. Camilla's Big Game Hunter, again, just one we wanted to use with the Wii Zapper. So it's fine. It's a good game, you know, I guess. We're from a yeehaw town too, so I think it was just like, Cabela's, boys, like, come on. Paintball 2, this is also, again, just to use the Wii Zapper. I don't know if my brother really liked these games. I don't know why we kept getting them. I bet he just had a good time with them or something. These are kind of shovelware, you know what I mean? But perfect for parents who are looking for a game for their, like, 6-year-old boy who has the Wii Zapper, you know what I'm saying? Call of Duty 3, I'm really actually surprised we have this because my parents were fairly against Call of Duty when we were kids. But I think the fact that you could use the Wiimote won my dad over. He probably just wanted to check out the game, so I'm sure that's probably why we have it. I actually don't remember playing that one hardly at all. This is what I loved, Outdoor Challenge. It had this really cool pad, like stomp paddy thing, and it was super, super fun. Basically, it was like a lot of balance games. They had wakeboarding, stuff like that, where you actually jumped. I kind of loved it. Some of my favorite Wii memories are from that game. A classic, another Disney's Sing It. You know, I was a Disney kid. I already said that. These were fun games when I was a kid, you know. Oh, this is a great game. Super Mario Galaxy, one of the first games I ever beat. One of my favorite games of all time. My favorite Mario game of all time. It's so much fun. It's just so, so amazing. The power-ups, everything, the physics of it. Oh my gosh, I love that game. And I've played that game since I was a kid, almost every year. So there's no nostalgia blinding that. Actually, there probably is, but still very good. PacMan Party, this is a really random one. The reason we actually got this game is because we always tried to get my mom to play games with us, and she didn't really like many of them, but she always talked about how when she was a kid, she would play Pac-Man. So we would buy her these Pac-Man games for her like birthday or Christmas in hopes that she would play the Wii with us. And with this one, we were like, oh, it's perfect, it's a party game, but it also came with like the arcade game, like the classic arcade Pac-Man, and then a couple other ones, like Dig Dug and stuff like that, and that's literally the only thing we played on it, and especially her. She literally would just play the, like, classic Pac-Man on it, and it was funny. This is a random one. I didn't even realize we had this. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I think is what it's called, yeah. So, this one, I sort of remember you just, like, use the Wii motions to do, like, weird combos. It was sort of cool, but I barely played it. I was also really young, so I think I probably wasn't super allowed to play it. I don't know. Oh, fitting that we end it with one of the best games on the system. So, obviously, Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is a really great game on top of everything else. You know, you gotta love it. It's basically all the great things from the original done again with new levels and basically DLC, but a lot better. I really love that game. We also have quite a bit more. We have, like, Wii Sports, obviously. I think that's probably in it. And I couldn't find Michael Jackson The Experience, but that's like a Just Dance type game, but with only Michael Jackson songs that we used to play a ton. I'm sure there was a couple other missing. I don't really know where they went, unfortunately. There's a ton of games like New Super Mario Bros. Wii that we played with my cousin all the time, and I think that's just his game, but I have so many memories of that game. I played through the entire thing. And Wii Sports Resort, as well as Mario Kart Wii. So there's quite a few games, I guess, that we don't necessarily have physically here, but I grew up playing, I have finished. So this is my childhood Wii collection. Let me know what your favorite game was out of this collection, and thank you guys for getting all the way to the end of this video. Not a lot of people do, so you are special, so thank you very much. And if you're still here, you can check out this video. It's a banger, it's a vibe, it's a good time. I will see you over there. Thank you again, everybody. Happy Wii days. This is kind of random, huh? Call of Duty. Who would have thought?